In 2025, one of Australia's biggest banks made a bet. Replace part of its customer service workforce with artificial intelligence. The idea was simple: lower costs, faster responses, a system that could handle thousands of conversations at the same time. But then something happened. Customers became frustrated, call volumes increased, and the bank eventually apologized and started bringing some workers back. Here's the important part. The problem wasn't that AI didn't work. The problem was that the technology wasn't ready to handle every situation customers were bringing to it. And yet, companies around the world are still moving in the same direction. Because this isn't just a technology story, it's a money story. And once you understand the economics behind it, you'll never look at a chatbot the same way again. You already know this feeling. You have a real problem. A wrong charge, a canceled flight, a missing order, and all you want is to talk to another person. Instead, you get a chatbot. You type agent. It sends you to an FAQ page you already read. You type agent. It gives you another automated response. You explain the problem again. The bot misunderstands. You try one more time. Eventually, many people simply give up. They close the window. They accept the charge. They move on. Most people assume the company just hasn't figured out AI yet. But the reality is more complicated. For companies, every customer interaction has a cost. And reaching a human employee is one of the most expensive parts of the entire process. Here's the number that explains everything. A conversation handled by a human employee costs a company far more than an automated interaction. Because companies aren't just paying for the person answering the phone. They're paying for training, management, scheduling, technology, office space, and thousands of employees needed to handle millions of customer requests. AI changes that equation. A machine can handle thousands of conversations at the same time. It can answer basic questions instantly. And every additional interaction costs far less than adding another employee. For companies dealing with millions of customers, the financial incentive is enormous. Some businesses are already reporting major savings after moving parts of their customer service operations to AI. And when the difference between human support and automated support becomes this large, the question changes. It's no longer only, how do we answer every customer faster? The new question becomes, how many customers can we help without needing a human at all? That shift has created a new measurement inside customer service. It's called deflection rate. Deflection rate measures how many customers contact a company, but never reach a human employee. Imagine 1,000 customers reaching out for help. If 800 solve their problem through automation, find an answer online, or simply stop trying, the company sees fewer people reaching employees. And from a business perspective, that means lower costs. But from the customer's perspective, there is a completely different experience. The goal of customer service slowly changes. Instead of only asking, did we solve the customer's problem? Companies can start asking, did we reduce the number of expensive human interactions? And that difference changes everything. Once reducing human contact becomes the goal, certain patterns start appearing. First, making the human harder to find. Have you noticed how difficult it has become to find a phone number on some websites? Instead, customers are guided through chatbots, help pages, and automated menus. Sometimes this works perfectly, but when it doesn't, getting to a real person can feel like a maze. Second, the endless loop. The chatbot asks another question. You explain the problem again. It sends another article. You repeat the process. Every extra step removes some customers who simply run out of time or patience. And then there is the biggest problem: false resolution. A customer may not actually get their problem solved. They may simply stop trying. But inside a company's system, that interaction can look like a successful automated conversation. The customer didn't receive a solution. They disappeared from the process. And those two things are very different. For decades, customer service was built around a simple promise. If something went wrong, someone would be there to help. That promise created trust. People stayed loyal to companies because they believed problems would eventually get resolved. But that relationship is changing. Companies are balancing two competing goals: keeping customers happy and reducing the enormous cost of supporting millions of people. AI is making that trade-off much easier. And because almost every major company is moving in the same direction, customers have fewer alternatives. Your bank, your airline, your phone company, your favorite retailer. The experience is changing everywhere at the same time. So the next time you're stuck fighting with a chatbot, remember this: it may not be failing. It may be working exactly as the system was designed. Because the future of customer service isn't just about answering more questions. It's about deciding which questions still deserve a human answer. And that decision will affect almost every customer on Earth. If this broke something down for you, subscribe to Loginomics and tell me in the comments, what's the worst chatbot experience you've ever had?